Welcome to Overlanders Then and Now. I'm Tom Bengal, coming to you from Boston, Massachusetts. And I'm here with my fellow traveler and friend, Jim King of Connecticut. Hello, Jimmy.
Hey, Biggs. So, how did two Ohio boys end up in New England?
Jimmy, a long and circuitous route,
Uh,
definitely over the decades for sure.
for
But
sure.
today, Jimmy, we're going to focus on nearly 50 years ago. It was December, cold, and our Eurail passes and money were running out. We can no longer ignore the decision that we were facing.
Yes. And the decision was find some way to earn money and continue traveling or you go home.
Jimmy, yes. So today we're going to talk about that decision, what we were thinking back then, what we see now, and what we see now looking back. So, Doc, let's start with this. When we started talking about this decision in Florence, do you remember what it felt like, Jimmy?
Yeah, it felt like a deadline right on us. It was like a term
Yeah.
paper due in two
Hmm.
days, and I hadn't even started on it.
You really felt like a term paper, Jimmy. Seemed like you were always ahead of your deadlines at Notre Dame,
Uh,
Jim.
uh,
No all-nighters for you.
oh, actually, I did pull an all-nighter once, only once. I forget which course, but believe me, the cramming did not help. But in Florence,
Yeah.
I felt the clock was
Yeah.
ticking. We hadn't yet made
Hmm.
it to Spain, and
Hmm.
I was afraid that if we didn't get there, we never would.
Yeah, good point, Doc. Good note there. Up until then, it seemed like we had all the time in the world,
Yeah,
Every city and a town led to another, and I do remember, Jimmy, that you were really eager to get to Spain. Really
yeah, I
eager.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, for me, Spain was different from all the other countries we'd visited. More rudimentary. That's not the right word, but I was eager to experience something different from all the towns and
Yeah.
cities and palaces
Yeah.
and
Hmm.
churches we visited. Or maybe I just wanted to experience some of the 60s styled wandering depicted in Michener's The Drifters.
Jimmy, me. Well, Doc, me too. The
Good.
Drifters, although I hadn't read the novel, Jimmy, but I
Hmm.
wasn't as eager to get to Spain as you were. Interesting. But I
Right.
like this.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
you wanted to check out some job
Yeah.
opportunities in Germany. So we decided to split for a couple of days and meet up in Granada, Spain. So, Biggs, what was going through your mind as you made your way solo up to Garmisch?
Oh, Jimmy, honestly, I was struggling.
Really?
Those all those long train rides give you too much time to think, and I wasn't being kind to myself. Jimmy, I
Hmm.
felt small around other travelers, tremendously less confident, less
Right.
articulate, from the people that we were meeting. And then Jimmy, losing my glasses in Venice did not help. I suddenly felt dependent again, like a kid who couldn't manage basic things on his own.
You're being way too hard on yourself, I think. I never got that feeling from you. If anything, you seemed very sure of yourself, a little indecisive at times, maybe,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
very confident when interacting with others, especially with strangers. You were much better at that than I was.
Oh, Jimmy, I think it was a matter kind of overcompensation,
Yeah.
although I don't think I could have explained that back then. Now,
Hmm.
Garmisch was this little Bavarian town, southern Germany. So Garmisch wasn't just about seeing if there was work, Jimmy, but it was
Mhm.
about seeing if I could achieve some stability in my life for a
Hmm.
while, proving to myself, hey, that I could commit to something, handle it. Do you remember thinking that the job idea was unrealistic, Jimmy?
No, no, not at all. Even if I did give you a lot of grief about it. In fact, I was hoping that we'd get an offer from Herman, that
Yeah,
farmer
yeah,
that we met in
yeah.
Rothenburg, but I didn't really follow up on that. And at that point, I just wanted to keep moving forward. Garmisch
Interesting.
felt to me like
Yeah.
going backward. I mean, it wasn't, of course. I was just interested in seeing new places rather than backtracking to a place we'd already been.
Doc, that's fascinating. That's interesting. I can understand how you would, yeah, see going back to Germany as kind of wasted or whatever, but you wanted to keep moving. That I was ready to stop and catch my breath, Jimmy.
Yeah, that's kind of a role reversal, isn't it?
Yes, yes,
I
yes.
mean, you wanted to keep moving at all times, and I didn't mind a slower pace. But
Yeah.
so when you got to Garmisch and started checking out various employment offices, did you feel any different once you got there?
Jimmy, I did. As we knew from the previous visits, because all these little villages had like work centers, Arbeitsamts.
Yeah.
Germany was orderly, predictable, and that helped. And Jim, two strangers that I met. One was Alex Freer, a young German man, who spoke perfect English, but for some reason loved Americans. He met me there, and Jim, he helped me through all the bureaucratic work there in Garmisch to set up to the point that he said, just come back before Christmas. You'll have a job waiting for you. And
Nice.
then the other family was interesting. Excuse me. The other contact was the Vusheks. These were people that were close friends of a teacher of mine at St. Francis de Sales, an excellent German teacher by the name of Father McMenamin. And in any event, I went up and saw the Vusheks up in Munich, unconditional hospitality, fascinating people, almost like, quasi parents. And Jim, that kindness mattered more than I knew at the time. I think it really helped me decide that when it was time, hey, I would be back and hopefully, find work and adapt well. But your
Excellent.
journey to Spain was very different, Jimmy. I remember including a stop in Nice to stay in an apartment of a famous author. Oh, Doc, were you inspired?
I was. I was. This was a beautiful apartment, and as you say, it belonged to a very famous author at the time.
Wow.
And I wanted an apartment like that, with steps from the Mediterranean, built-in bookshelves all over this, in every room in the apartment. And how hard
Neat.
could it be to be a writer and, make that kind of
Yeah.
money? But what
Oh,
strikes me
Jim.
now is how different travel was back then versus now. A stranger invites you to stay the night and you just say, okay, you know, it's
Yeah.
not something I would advise anyone to do these days. But back then, that night, that apartment, the books, the laughter, I was completely at ease. It was great.
Wonderful.
I'm amazed now that we trusted the world so much back then. And I'm grateful that we could.
Wow. Amen, Jimmy. Amen. Jimmy, so when we ran into each other, literally on the boarding platform in Valencia, how did that feel to you, Doc?
Oh, well, I was completely surprised since we were supposed to meet in Granada. But when I saw that big orange backpack, yeah, well, it was great. I was back with my map reader.
Jimmy, that was amazing. Completely coincidental. I think the split, really, Jim, looking back, was good for both of us.
I agree. Say more. How so for you?
Jimmy, I think my time in Garmisch alone gave me some grounding. It gave me more confidence in myself and my ability, Jimmy, to do big and important things on my own. Doc, this was, it's reminded me of the big step, us leaving Cleveland, taking this big step, big gamble to head over to Europe. And that helped Jimmy, not just when we were traveling, but, having that feeling, but in my life and career ever since. And what
Yeah,
about you, Doc?
excellent. Well, it wasn't the first time we traveled in different directions for a few days, but it was the most impactful for me up to that point. Um, it was just the excitement in seeing new places
Mhm.
and meeting new people on my own. And the long train ride gave me, as it did for you, plenty of time for self-reflection, and for making self-improvement resolutions that I would soon break.
Well, Doc, that's great. That's probably a good place to stop, Jim.
All
Next
right.
time,
Okay.
we'll talk more about Spain, where we
Hmm.
come face to face with those final decisions, Doc.
Yeah.
So to everyone watching, thank you for watching, and until next time,
Guten
guten
voyage,
voyage, everyone.
everyone. A little
And we
closer
can,
that time. And I
well,
can't
we're
get over
journey.
your German teacher named McMenamin. Wasn't teaching Irish or Gaelic or anything.
Yeah, Father Jack. Unbelievable.